We check in now on the latest cattle market news with our market update, brought to you by CattleFax.
Hello, I'm Troy Bockelman with the CattleFax update. On average, over the last 5 years, 32% of all U.S. beef imports have come from Australia. Australia is also a main competitor of the U.S. when it comes to the global marketplace. Japan and South Korea are two of the main U.S. export markets that Australia also competes in. These two markets combined account for around 35% of the beef exported from the U.S. and 40% of Australian beef exported over the last 5 years. Australia holds around an 11% tariff advantage in Japan due to a trade agreement between the two countries. Even with the advantage that Australia holds, the U.S. has been able to remain competitive in these markets with lower U.S. prices as compared to the Aussie prices. Australia has recently come out of a drought and has started to rebuild their beef cow herd. In 2016, Aussie cattle slaughter and beef production were down 20% and 23% respectively when compared to 2015. With the decreased availability of Australian beef, exports were down 21% or nearly 600 million pounds in 2016 versus 2015. 65% of the decline in Australian exports was decreased beef exports to the U.S. The limited supply in Australia, as well as increased non-fed slaughter in the U.S., has decreased the demand for U.S. beef imports. Beef import demand has remained solid in South Korea. Beef exports from Australia to South Korea were up 8% or 29 million pounds in 2016, while U.S. beef exports to South Korea through November were up 38% or 110 million pounds. Australian beef exports to Japan slowed in 2016, down 7% or 46 million pounds. The U.S. was able to capture market share in Japan in 2016. From January to November, beef exports from the U.S. were up 19.5% or 98 million pounds, more than offsetting the decline in Aussie exports. As Australia continues to rebuild its herd, in 2017, their beef exports and production are expected to decline 5% and 3% respectively. Moving forward, the decreased exports and production in Australia, as well as the increased beef production in the U.S., will allow the U.S. to remain competitive in 2017. For the Angus Report and CattleFax, I'm Troy Bockelman.
To learn more about CattleFax, your leading source for beef industry market information, visit CattleFax.com.